9:30, we will go ahead and get started with our pre-meeting. Thanks everybody for being here this morning. First, so we'll move through the agenda and get our questions answered and have our meeting start at 10 o'clock. The first item we'll have is a recognition of some police officers. Benny, Mr. Hannah's here to lead that, and he'll lead that when we get started at 10 o'clock. Then we have approval of minutes, October 26, 2021, 6 p.m. special called council meeting, November 15th, 2021, 10 a.m. council meeting, November 19th, 2021, 9 a.m. special called work session, November 29th, 2021, 5 p.m. work session, December 7th, 2021, 3 p.m. special called work session, and December 7th, 2021, 5:30 p.m. work session. Any questions on those? All right, next is approved monthly bills, approved November 2021 monthly bills. Any questions? Okay, next is set public hearings, ordinance number 214487, approved rezoning request 138221 to rezone 3.6 acres from RD2 to M1, property located at 1626 6th Avenue Southeast. No changes, any questions? That public hearing is January 18th. All right, next public hearings, resolution number 21404, approved request for restaurant retail liquor license for Sharon Enterprises LLC, doing business as Crab King Seafood, located at 107 2nd Avenue Northeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601. No changes, any questions? Resolution number 21405, approved request for off-premise beer and wine license for Al Ghassami Incorporated, doing business as Riverside Mini Mart, located at 1602 Grant Street Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601. No changes, any questions? All right, resolution number 21406, approved request from Dish for a special use permit to co-locate on the existing tower at 2524 Point Mallard Drive Southeast.
No changes.
No changes, any questions? Resolution number 21407, approved request from Dish for a special use permit to co-locate on the existing tower located at 2625 Centron Drive.
No changes.
Okay, no changes, any questions? All right, resolution number 21408, approve annual storm shelter MOU with Decatur City Schools.
Yeah, that's just a continuation of what we've had in it, a two-year extension of the agreement.
Okay, any questions? All right, resolution number 21409, approve the purchase of Caterpillar 836K Landfill Compactor Honda. No changes, any questions? Resolution number 21410, approve safe slide proposal to repair 3 flume slides. No changes, any questions? All right, resolution number 21411, approve budget amendment to upgrade police shooting range.
No changes.
No changes, any questions? Resolution number 21412, approve historic preservation grant for Delano Structures report.
No changes.
Okay, any questions? Resolution number 21413, approved grant application for updating design review standard for Historic Preservation Commission.
No changes.
Okay, any questions? Resolution number 21414, approved grant application to survey Austinville for historic designation.
No changes.
Okay, any questions? Resolution number 21415, Garver Engineering proposal Upper River Road intersection improvements.
No changes.
Okay, no changes, any questions? Resolution number 21416, CE&I contract with Pew Wright for Highway 31 at Red Bank Road.
No changes.
Okay, any questions? Resolution number 21417, request permission to install an in-ground grease interceptor that would partially extend onto city property. Any DU folks?
Yeah, there's no change. I don't see DU here.
Oh, Steve, do you know anything about this? Okay. They had a question last week about a final design, but I can ask Tom in the break to make sure. Okay. All right, any other questions on that one? It was like 30 inches on the city
34
property.
inches,
Okay.
68 inches by 34.
Okay. All right, resolution number 21-418, land purchase from Hubbard's for the Turtle Bridge project
There's no change, that's just the same we described last Monday.
for parking lot. Okay. Resolution number 21-419, approve bank signatories for warrant series 2021B and warrant series 2021C bank accounts. Any questions? All right, resolution number 21-420, appoint municipal judge to Keisha L. Golston. Think there's any changes, any questions? Okay. Resolution number 21-421, endo settlement, state opioid litigation allocation.
Yeah, that's basically a settlement that Attorney General Steve Marshall negotiated on behalf of the counties and cities in Alabama. And we're part of that. We're just going to approve accepting the allotted amount, which is approximately $250,000 less attorney's fees.
Okay. Any questions? Resolution number 21-422, approve matching funds for AFG grant of 10%. No changes. That is for some replacement.
It's, where the police and fire share the, gym, the treadmills, we can get those replaced, and for replacement firearms for our trucks.
Okay. And we matched 10%, so $2,740. Okay. Any questions? Resolution number 21-423, approve sales contract with Brook Processors Incorporated.
Yeah, that just allows us until March the 31st to do our due diligence to determine whether we purchase this property from Meadowbrooks. It's part of the Decatur Commons project.
Okay.
And the same with the next one.
All right, any questions? Resolution number 21-424, approve sales contract with Mary Jane Darby.
That's just part of the proposed Decatur Commons project.
Okay. And then the next one is resolution number 21-425, approve William Lawrence land purchase. Same thing.
Same thing, it's $3,000. It's a tax sale purchase, and he's willing to sell it to us for the amount he has invested in it,
Okay.
which is $3,000.
All right, any questions? And resolution number 21-426, approval to acquire miscellaneous state of Alabama tax sales properties.
Yes, that's just some properties that the state sold at a tax sale, and we're going to negotiate with the state to try to acquire those. There's still part of the Decatur Commons proposed project, and these are around the Darby property.
Okay, any questions? Okay, next we have ordinances first reading. The first is ordinance number 21-4486, annexation request 36521 for approximately 7.1 acres located at 3827 and 3831 Highway 31 South. No changes, and that's just the Champion, okay, dealership. Any questions? And then ordinance number 21-4488, approval of Go Warrant Series 2021B and Go Warrant Series 2021C. No changes, any questions? All right, that's it for this pre-meeting, and we'll get started at 10 o'clock. Thank you. Call the meeting to order. Paul Cheshire from First Bible Church will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
All right, pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, in this week that we are mindful of the light that you send into darkness, we give you praise and thanks for who you are. And Lord, for the gift not only given to us, but more importantly, given for us, the gift of your Son. We give you praise and thanks. I thank you for these who serve this community, and I pray that you grant them wisdom, character, discipline, grace, and perseverance as they try to work through many things. Keep your good hand on them, Lord, and on us, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Roll call. Here. 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 All right. First off, getting started today, we have a recognition for some of our police officers from the Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, and I will turn it over to Mr. Benny Hanna to lead us here on.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate you, and especially appreciate the opportunity to be able to be here this evening. And I guess it's still morning here. It just feels like evening to me. But I'm Benny Hanna, chapter president for the Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, and also committee chairman for the Public Service and Heroism Awards. And that's what brings me here today. We're the Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution. Our members are all direct descendants of a participant in the Revolutionary War. We're proud of the fact that we are the largest chapter in the state of Alabama. And this year we're especially proud because we won the President's Cup at the National Convention of being one of the most, or the most active chapter in the entire United States of chapters of over 200 people in their chapter. So that was a little feather in the hat, so I needed to brag a little bit. I apologize for that. This year again, we're recognizing individuals from various departments in Madison, Morgan, and Limestone counties. Today, we're here to recognize several members of the Decatur Police Force. Before I bring up the first recipient, though, I'd like to thank Rick Archer for helping me make this ceremony possible. He has been really a champion of recognizing individuals in his department. And so, thanks again, Rick. The first officer I'd like to bring up is Officer Julie Reynolds. Julie, can you come up? Which one? That's it right there. Okay, I'm going to read the accommodation first. On December 17, 2020, the Decatur Police and Fire Department and EMS responded to reports of a traffic accident with entrapment on State Highway 67 in Decatur. Officer Julie Reynolds arrived on scene to discover EMS standing by with numerous other citizens who had stopped by to just check the scene out. The vehicle was left the roadway and struck a utility pole, causing down power lines, some of which were draped over the wrecked vehicle. People at the scene were unable to assist the driver because it was not known whether the power lines were live or not. The driver of the vehicle was drifting in and out of consciousness. The vehicle had caught fire under the hood, and the fire was quickly spreading. Officer Reynolds knew the driver had to be removed from the vehicle. The driver was able to tell Officer Reynolds that her ankles were injured and she was not able to stand. Officer Reynolds knew that if she did not take immediate action, the driver would be overcome by the smoke and fire and could possibly perish inside the vehicle. Officer Reynolds refused to let anyone else near the vehicle or to assist her, fearing for their safety and the possibility of electrocution. Disregarding her own safety, Officer Reynolds picked up the woman, removed her from the vehicle, and carried her to safety. So on behalf of the 200 members of the Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, we'd like to recognize Officer Julie Reynolds with our Heroism Medal and Certificate of Appreciation. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next I'd like to ask narcotics investigators Will Holbrook and Chase Sane to come up front, please. Great. Thank you, gentlemen. On November 19th, 2020, narcotics investigators Will Holbrook and Chase Sane overheard a radio dispatch of a call for assistance due to a fire in an apartment building at Willows Apartments in Decatur. Dispatch reports that a person was inside the apartment in the building in need of assistance. The two officers were nearby and responded. One side of the apartment building was on fire when the officers arrived. The officers were directed by citizens to an upstairs apartment. The officers entered the smoke-filled building and moved to the upstairs apartment, where they forced open an apartment door and located a woman with a child who was attempting to assist an elderly man. The man suffered health problems and was on oxygen and was not able to move quickly. The officers sent the woman and child outside for helping the elderly man out of the apartment, which was quickly filling with smoke. Everyone was removed from the building and no one was injured. The officers placed their own safety at risk to help a citizen in what could have been a life-threatening event. Officers Will Holbrook and Chase Sane have been recognized by the department, and today, on behalf of our Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, we'd like to recognize both Will Holbrook and Chase Sane with our Heroism Medal and Certificate of Appreciation. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you do. Okay. We have a little larger group coming up this time. I'd like to ask Officer Thomas Kirby, Tristan Swanson, Christian Moody, Sean Hudson, and Sergeant Joe Renshaw. If you could come up front, please. I believe we have a couple of officers out sick today, so.
Who are we missing?
We're missing Kirby.
Lieutenant Renshaw and Officer Kirby.
Renshaw and Kirby are not here.
Shaw and Kirby.
We will.
Shaw.
Okay, let me read the accommodation while the folks are up here. On December 24th, 2020, at 9:35 a.m., officers Kristen Moody and Decatur Police Department traffic units were dispatched to a motor vehicle wreck with injuries near the intersection of Highway 20 and State Docks Road. She was assisted by officers Sean Hudson, Thomas Kirby, and Tristan Swanson of the Patrol Division. Officers Kirby, Swanson, and Moody arrived on the scene at the same time, with Officer Hudson arriving moments later. Officer Kirby and Swanson made contact with one of the vehicles involved in the wreck, which had been pulled into a nearby parking lot. The driver of that vehicle quickly pointed out that the other vehicle involved had crashed and flipped over into the creek, known as Baker's Creek, near the intersection. Officers went to the edge of the creek and saw the bottom of the overturned vehicle was sticking up from the creek waters. The recent rains had the water levels of the creek swollen well above the normal level, and the water was flowing quickly. Making things more complicated, the outside temperature at the time was near 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Officers Kirby took immediate action by crossing the creek in chest-high water to reach the vehicle. Officers Swanson and Moody went to the other side of the creek to gain access to the vehicle from the opposite bank of the creek, where the water was about waist deep. When the officers reached the vehicle, they opened the passenger side door compartment was completely submerged in water. Officers Kirby and Swanson made several attempts, submerging themselves into the water in an attempt to reach anyone who may have been inside, but they were unsuccessful. Unable to locate anyone inside the vehicle and having exhausted all the energy, they were relieved of their efforts by Officer Hudson and Moody, along with the Decatur Fire and Rescue. A fire department rescue diver was finally able to locate the driver, who had been thrown into the back seat of the vehicle. Once Swanson began performing life-saving efforts, the victim was transported to Decatur Memorial Hospital, where he continued to receive treatment. The victim was tough word for me, resuscitated, and was placed in the intensive care unit. Tragically, however, the victim passed away later that day. Officers Thomas Kirby, Tristan Swanson, Kristen Moody, Sean Hudson, and Sergeant Joe Renshaw showed tremendous bravery and courage as they placed their own safety and risk and braved the frigid waters of the creek in an attempt to save the life of a man they had never met. Again, on behalf of the members of the Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, I'd like to present these brave officers with our Heroism Medal and Certificate of Appreciation. We're taking a lot of pictures because we're hoping to get these in our national magazine this year. So we're certainly looking forward to that. But again, thank you, Bob. Bob Anderson, our commander of the Color Guard. We didn't bring the whole Color Guard here today because we don't have enough room, but we have certainly a great stand-in. And our Vice President Dudley Burwell, and our publicity, Jess Brown, was here from the chapter today. And so I appreciate all you guys coming. I appreciate all of the folks here. The families of the officers here, any of the family members? And we know that you guys sacrifice a lot. The families of these officers who we load up and send out on their way every day, not knowing what they're going to encounter that particular day. So it is just absolutely marvelous that you guys can offer the support and keep them going and doing the things to protect our community and keep our citizens safe on a day-by-day basis. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to come and make these presentations today. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank y'all so much for taking time to come in to recognize our officers. We have slightly over 100 officers in our police department, all who would come up and do the very things that you've described today in the notes that you read from. And we're just thankful that you wanted to recognize them for their efforts. It's becoming more challenging to find people that want to serve as police officers today and to remain in this profession. Some of them, it's in their DNA, and there's nothing that can keep them from doing it. They're just, they're gonna do it, they're gonna always give their dead level best. So, again, thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sir.
Thank you, guys. We'll give everybody a minute to shuffle out if they want to. Or hang out.
You do have a jacket on. I'm gonna state the obvious first.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started to the agenda. First is our approval of minutes. First is October 26, 2021, 6 PM special called council meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
This is approved 5-0. Next is November 15th, 2021, 10 a.m. council meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
So approved 5-0. Next is November 19th, 2021, 9 a.m. special called council work session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by McMaster, second by Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
So approved 5-0. Next is November 29th, 2021, 5 p.m. work session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by McMaster, second by Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
So approved 5-0. Next is December 7th, 2021, 3 p.m. special called work session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by McMaster, second by Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
So approved 5-0. And last is December 7th, 2021, 5:30 p.m. work session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
So approved 5-0. Next is our monthly bills. Approve November 2021 monthly bills.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Widener.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Monthly bills are approved 5-0. Next, we have set a public hearing, ordinance number 214487, approve rezoning request 138221 to rezone 3.6 acres from RD2 redevelopment district to M1 light industry district, property located at 1626 6th Avenue Southeast, and we'll be setting the public hearing for January 18th. Lee?
Yes, this is the property. It was originally the Coca-Cola bottling plant. Most recently, the Julia's Pools location. The request has been to rezone from the redevelopment district to M1 light manufacturing, which would allow for the proposed use of a mini storage facility.
Okay, any questions? All right, thanks, Lee. All right, next, public hearings, resolution number 21404, approve request for restaurant retail liquor license for Sharon Enterprises LLC, doing business as Crab King Seafood, located at 107 2nd Avenue Northeast, Decatur, Alabama, 35601. Lori.
They've met all criteria and recommend approval.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone here to speak on this, you can speak now. All right, seeing no one here to speak on the matter, we'll consider the public hearing closed.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution number 21404 is approved 5-0. Next, we have resolution number 21405, approved request for off-premise beer and wine license for Algasami Incorporated, doing business as Riverside Mini Mart, located at 1602 Grant Street Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
They've met all criteria, recommend approval.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here to speak, you can speak now. All right, seeing no one here to speak, we'll consider the public hearing closed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution number 21405 is approved 5-0. Next, resolutions. Resolution number 21406, approved request from Dish for a special use permit to co-locate on the existing tower at 2524 Point Mallard Drive Southeast.
Good morning, President, Council, Mayor. David Andrews with CMS, the city's consultant for telecommunications. This resolution is an application made by Dish Wireless to co-locate or install their equipment at the existing cell tower at 2524 Point Mallard Drive. Dish Wireless is a new service provider and will be providing service to the Point Mallard area with this site. The site is 190-foot monopole tower, and they're wanting to put the antennas at 150 foot, and CMS has reviewed the application and recommends approval.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution number 21406 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21407, approved request from Dish for a special use permit to co-locate on the existing tower located at 2625 Centron Drive.
Yes, sir. This resolution is for Dish Wireless to provide service to the Beltline road area. This is a 163-foot monopole tower. They're wanting to install their equipment at 109 foot. CMS has reviewed the application and recommends approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21407 is approved 5-0. Thanks, David. Resolution number 21408, approve annual storm shelter MOU with the Decatur City Schools.
This just extends the present agreement with Decatur City Schools for us to use storm shelter at both the high schools. It extends it 2 years. That's what it does.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21408 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution 21409, approve the purchase of Caterpillar 836K landfill compactor. Wanda?
Wanda Tyler, Landfill and Recycling. We're requesting that we purchase this essential piece of equipment that we need in order to extend the life of our landfill. After our discounts from Sourcewell and from the vendor, the total amount for this purchase be $1,384,747.35. And we're excited to get a new compactor.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21409 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21410, approve safe slide proposal to repair 3 flume slides. Stephanie?
Good morning, Council, Council President, Mayor. Stephanie McLean, Point Mallard Park. This is a request to approve repairs to the bottom section of the 3 flume slides at Point Mallard in the amount of $24,700 from the Point Mallard Fund.
So moved, and happy birthday.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Happy birthday. Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution number 21-410 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-411, approved budget amendment to upgrade police shooting range.
Morning, council. This is some housekeeping. You remember during the original budget, this project was presented. It had a $100,000 price tag on it at the original budget. It was overlooked. It was $130K, and this is for the additional $30,000 to pay for the range upgrades.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-411 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-412, approved historic preservation grant for Delano Structures report. Carolyn?
So these are three resolutions in a row. I'm going to give you the overarching code for it, and then we can break them down. The federal government gives funds to the State Historic Commission for matching federal grants. There are CLG grants, so we're eligible to ask for this money because the city is a certified local government. The application date is in January, February, so next month. These funds we don't actually get until 2023, so I'm having to work ahead on this calendar a little bit. And they're match grants. So the feds cover 60%, the city covers 40%. So this is applying to receive a grant. We will not be notified until probably August, possibly September, if we even receive these grants. And then I would come back to council in September, October, November, requesting to actually accept the grants. So I'm having to work very far out on these. So the first one, G, Resolution 21-4112, we're going to request for a historic structures report for all of the stone structures at Delano Park. That includes Fort Decatur as well. This would allow us to have a professional team to come in to look at all the stone structures, to look at the building, everything from electrical, mechanical, structural, see where the building is at, see where the smaller structures are at. It's very much like getting a home inspection report before you buy a house, so that we know long-term maintenance issues. And then once we get this document, then we can apply for grants to fix challenges with the building. So this is normally a required document if you want to be applying for larger grant sources. So that total, we are estimating a historic structures report is at $30,000 for that. $12,000 would be the city's portion. So that is on that resolution.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McMaster. Second. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-412 is approved 5-0. Next, resolution number 21-413, approved grant application for updating design review standard for Historic Preservation Commission.
So the commission, as a quasi-judicial board within the city, has a set of standards that they use when they evaluate all requests in front of them. The standards need to be updated to take into account new materials, new technologies. Our standards are 2 decades old at this point. We have reached the point where the commission needs an updated professional set of standards to work within. This is at the same match grant as the prior one. We are estimating professional services for this to be at $30,000. The city of Decatur's portion would be $12,000 if we are awarded that grant.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-413, approved 5-0. Resolution number 21-414, approved grant application to survey Austinville for historic designation.
This is actually a survey and inventory. So as council is familiar, one of the things I've been working with property owners are the historic tax credits when buildings, particularly commercial buildings, come online for use. And we have 5 National Register districts in the city where buildings have the potential to be eligible. Bank Street, Old Decatur, Old Town East and West districts, Albany residential, Albany commercial. But those are the only areas within the city that have been surveyed. Nothing else within the city has been surveyed, which is the first step to looking at this designation. So I had a developer call me who was looking at property in Austinville a couple of months ago, and I met with them on site, and I had to say, I don't have a tool in my toolbox for this one because we don't have a survey. So I can help you to an extent. This is what I can do, but without a larger survey, I don't have the context that's going to be required by the feds to go further with this in a timely fashion. And as I started talking with the commission and started talking with John Allison and Morgan County Archives and looking through records on the city, the city annexed Austinville post-World War II. It was its own city. And so we have this rich history of this community, and we don't have that data in any form that allows us to assist these people. So we pulled up the maps. I've got the planning department. We sort of have the current boundaries versus the historic boundaries, and that's what we're looking at surveying. It's to set the stage to see if it has the ability. We won't know if it has the ability to get these funds until the survey work is completed. They are estimating it's going to be $30,000 to survey that neighborhood. $12,000 would be the city's match.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion?
It's a beautiful neighborhood and a very important part of our city, and I appreciate this effort. I believe the council will.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mayor. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-414 is approved 5-0. Next is Resolution 21-415, Garver Engineering Proposal, Upper River Road Intersection Improvements.
Morning, council. This is for the engineering design for the improvements at Highway 67 Upper River Road, which includes the light.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-415 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-416, CE and I contract with Pew Wright for Highway 31 at Red Bank Road.
Yes, this is for the construction engineering inspection for the Red Bank Road intersection.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-416 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution 21-417, request permission to install an in-ground grease interceptor that would partially extend onto city property.
This involves 34 inches of our property in an alley. This in-ground grease interceptor is a vital part of them being able to continue to operate, so.
Yeah,
I don't know about the design.
Yeah, I talked to Tom in the break, Cleveland with Decatur Utilities, and he said they did get what they needed and they're good with the design, so.
That's good.
Okay.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-417 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution 21-418, land purchase from the Hubbards for the Turtle Bridge project.
Yes, several weeks ago, Dr. Sims came forward, talked about the Turtle Bridge project. He asked that we purchase, as part of that, some property adjacent for parking, and the sales price is $165,000. What we're asking to do is to approve that purchase. In fact, this purchase price is slightly below what it was the beginning asking price, so it's. now
We appreciate the
165.
seller reducing their
You what
sale.
now?
We appreciate the seller
Yes, sir.
reducing their sale price.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-418 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-419, approved bank signatories for warrant series 2021B and warrant series 2021C bank accounts.
Council, these bank accounts are required for what you'll see later on, the 2021B and C bond issuance.
All right.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-419 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-420, appoint municipal judge to Keisha L. Golston.
This is the official appointment request for Keisha L. Golston to be the next municipal judge for the city of Decatur in pay range 10, which is tied to that classification. It's pay grade 25 at step 10 with an effective report to work date on January the 10th, 2022.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper,
Second.
second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-420 approved 5-0. Next is resolution number 21-421, Endo Settlement State Opioid Litigation Allocation.
Yes, the city of Decatur is part of federal litigation as it relates to opiate impact on our community as well as the state and the nation. Attorney General Steve Marshall has negotiated along with our attorneys a settlement with Endo, and the city's portion would be slightly less than $250,000 less attorney's fees and expenses. So what we're asking you to do is to approve this settlement on behalf of the city. These funds would be used to educate, to treat, to try to prevent the abuse of opioids. It's got several different guidelines. There's much flexibility. It will help public safety, fire and police when they come up on a situation involving the abuse of opioids, that they can be better educated as to how to respond to that. So we would sincerely ask that y'all approve this so we can make our attorneys aware that we approve it.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-421 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution 21-422, approved matching funds for AFG grant, 10%, $2,740.
Good morning, council. Tracy Thornton, Fire Chief, City of Decatur. So what this is the AFG grant that comes around yearly. We decided to go with a micro grant this year. The police department and the fire department have a gym that they share at the Flint training facility. We have treadmills in there, and those are wore out. And part of this grant is for new treadmills for the gym, and also to replace fire hoses need to be replaced on the fire trucks. So the total price of the city, if we get awarded this grant, would be 10% of $2,740.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-422 is approved 5-0. Next is resolution 21-423, approved sales contract with Brook Processors Incorporated.
Yeah, this is a follow-up to what previous discussions about the proposed Decatur Commons project, and this is one of the properties involved. Under this contract, we would have until March 31st to close it out. If we, for whatever reason, we do not wish to go forward, we would have any deposit returned to us. And this allows, as a side point, allows Brook to continue to use the property and pay us a rental of $2,640 per month. if they so choose. They're going to move out, obviously, of this property, and they need time to do that. So what this does is gives us locks in this property so we can determine whether we want to in fact purchase it or not.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion?
Citizens from the immediate Occidental area have come in and have spoken to us about the fact that they wanted the recreation center back in their immediate community. And apparently it fell on deaf ears, so at this particular point, I will not support any of these land purchases.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call?
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-423 is approved 4-1. Next is Resolution 21-424, approved sales contract with Mary Jane Darby.
Yeah, this is another parcel that's part of the potential Decatur Commons project. The sales price is $149,000, which we find to be based on the market. There was a previous purchaser considering it, and so this is market valid. And so we would ask that you approve this so we can acquire this property as part of this potential project.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-424 is approved 4-1. Next is Resolution 21-425, approved William Lawrence land purchase.
Yes, this is, once again, another parcel in the potential Decatur Commons project. Mr. Lawrence purchased this from the state of Alabama. State sold it at a tax sale. He is willing to sell it to the city for what he has invested in it, which is $3,000. So we'd ask that y'all approve us going ahead and acquiring that at $3,000.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-425 is approved 4-1. Next is Resolution 21-426, approval to acquire miscellaneous state of Alabama tax sales properties.
Already. There's several lots that the state purchased at a sales tax sale. And all we're going to ask you to do is to approve us going and negotiating with the state of Alabama to redeem those properties for what they purchased them for, which should not be very much. So that's, and we don't have the exact number, so to keep from having to come back 3 or 4 times, we just ask that y'all approve it, and then we'll, once we have the amounts, we'll come back and get those approved.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 21-426 is approved 4-1. Next, we have ordinances first reading. Ordinance number 21-4486, annexation request 36521 for approximately 7.1 acres located at 3827 and 3831 Highway 31 South.
Yes, this is the Champion of Decatur dealership, and a project they are doing there requires them to gain access to our sewer system, which is why this annexation request has been brought.
All right, any questions? All right, thanks, Lee. Next is ordinance number 21-4488, approval of Go Warrant Series 2021B and Go Warrant Series 2021C.
Good evening, or good morning, council. This is a request for approval on the 2021 B and C bond issuance. I'll kind of give you the highlights and not go into as much detail as I did in the work session. There are 2 components to this. The 2021B is non-taxable, $18 million worth, and the 2021C is $2 million taxable. That's because of the component of the parking deck being for a for-profit business. The overall rate is 2.3% over 25 years, and our request is to have unanimous consent.
You gave me this last week, but what was the taxable, non-taxable? I have a different agenda today.
Oh, between the two?
Just what were, the taxable amount was what rate? 1.9? I mean, non-taxable.
1.91,
All right.
92, excuse me.
And what, do you have the taxable to?
2.40.
Okay. All right.
Move for immediate consideration.
Okay, we have a motion for immediate consideration by Mr. McMasters and a second by Mr. Pike for immediate consideration. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ladner,
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
All right, immediate consideration fails with a vote of 4-1. Any other questions or comments on the ordinance? All right, we will, do you have anything as far as, okay.
I just want to schedule the second reading.
What's our time frame?
The closing's the 28th. We have holidays coming up, short week, so I was hoping Wednesday.
Okay, I think Wednesday, I had something come up at 10, so. 4 o'clock Wednesday, is that doable?
I won't be available.
Are you available any Wednesday?
I'm good for Wednesday.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, okay. We got 4, so, we'll do that. Let's do Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kyle. Next council work session will be held on December 27th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Next regular council meeting will be held on January 3rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. Anything else from directors? Ms. Sandlin?
Yes, as you know, we have been recruiting and interviewing for Director of Environmental Services / Solid Waste Fleet Garage. We have 3 standing candidates, it's Mr. Alan Stover, Reginald Carter, and external candidate Daniel Boutwell. Just wondered what this council want to do, next steps on this position.
All right. Any comments? I guess I'll go. We had an interview, I think we had 2 good internal candidates. I know Kip dropped out and came back, but everybody I thought did well in the interview. I thought Mr. Boutwell did very well, and he has experience doing this in kind of a small, almost its own city at UAH. My personal thought is see what we can do with moving forward with him, and see where it goes from there. But that's my opinion. But I'm only one, so that's not
Yes.
giving her much direction.
No.
I'm gonna add that we attempt to negotiate with Mr. Stover as well.
We have 3 candidates, and I need a majority consensus on which candidate to go forward with.
Did you say Alan Stover?
Sir?
Did you say Alan Stover?
Yes.
I could agree with that.
After going back looking at notes, I would agree with the council president to move forward Mr. Boutwell. I think his experience, he shows some real leadership traits as well, but he does have a good background in those departments. I think he'd be a good fit.
I don't disagree.
So to be clear, we have 3 council votes for Boutwell and 2 for Stover. So I will go forward and speak with Boutwell and let the council know the outcome. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rochelle. Any other comments from any directors? Mayor?
Madison Scorpino, please stand. Representing WAFF, and you have received a very nice opportunity to go to work for Fox Network News, and we are proud of that and appreciate the way you've represented yourself when doing business with the city and covering the events in the city. Wish you the best.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thane, are you going anywhere?
WAFF, maybe. All right. Before that gets out of hand, let's, anything else from the mayor?
No, sir.
All right, anything else from council? All right, everybody have a Merry Christmas. We're dismissed.